Alrighty folks, so it's time for some much needed love on this truck where carburetor needs to be changed out. It stumbles a lot, it gets heat soak a lot. I can be on the freeway, I can floor it and it'll stumble real bad. I can be at a light and I can floor it and nothing will happen. Absolutely nothing will happen. And as soon as I let off the gas, it's almost like the motor starts right back up. So you can see whoever the previous owner was, they put silicone around all the bolts, or some little was like that tar tape. And I don't know, it just doesn't run right. So there's no reason to try to get this thing rebuilt and then have to deal with it over again, because even getting them rebuilt costs almost as much as getting a new carburetor, depending on what you're getting. So I took the liberty to get the carburetor that nobody likes to talk about and everybody tells you not to buy. And that is the EDELBROCK 1906 AVS II. So hopefully that'll be a good thing. I got the fuel line kit. You don't need it, but that's 8139 3/8 hardline fuel hardline with 6 B-nut and polished. So whatever that means. Then you have to get a fitting that's a female with barbed on the end, so that that other end can go to your fuel pump. And I took the liberty of getting a Transdapt 2584 1-inch spacer. So it comes with the hardware, comes with your spacer and a vacuum port. I don't know if I really need that. And it comes with 2 gaskets. So it's not a bad piece, looks pretty good. Hopefully that will remedy heat soak also. And I'm not going to bore you through the whole process of the installation, but I am going to put it all together and then I will take you for a ride. Alright, so got the air cleaner off just to show. Look how they silicone. It's not silicone, it's like mastic tape. Oh, that is silicone. That's silicone, and then that's like a mastic around the bolts, but you can see how it's leaking. Solid car. I mean, I don't think it's a bad car, but it just doesn't run right for my truck. Alright, so let's continue taking this apart. Alright, got the carb off. All I need to do now is pull the studs off and start putting the kit together. Alright, so there's the adapter. Fits pretty well. Does what it's supposed to do. Then you add the last gasket. Fits on there exactly the way it's supposed to. And then we drop the carburetor. Alright, here's the old carb. When I pulled my manifold vacuum out, the whole port came out with it. So I don't know if that says it's a bad carb or not, but like I said, you can see how grody they put that silicone on there. But it's a 31/16, that's what it looks like. Square bore. Then when you buy your 1906, you're going to have your directions, installation. You'll have a gasket You'll have your air cleaner gasket. You have all your little vacuum ports, all the extra little stuff that they give you. Negative, positive for your choke. And I don't think I can pull this out with one hand. Hold up. And this is your carb. So if you look at this one's a perfect square bore. And when you look at the AVS, the bores on the bottom are bigger than the top. Instead, this is the AVS II. Using E45, E85 fuel will void your warranty. There she is, folks. All right, so let me get it bolted all down. We'll start getting this thing together, put the fuel lines on, the vacuum, and so forth. All right, so here she is all done. It was a piece of cake to put on. I will tell you this, the truck does sound different. It sounds way different. And for that fact, I also believe that my secondaries were never coming on, because even when I was pressing the throttle on the old carb, just checking it, the secondaries never opened. The secondaries on this open with the throttle manual hand press. So I've already I guess you can call tune it. Let's take it on the road and see how she does. I'm going to start it up and you can see that this thing starts on a dime. Doesn't sit there and try to crank anymore. Before, it had to turn quite a few times to get it to start. So alright, let's take this thing on a run and see how she does. It looks so much better without the air cleaner being so close to the engine also. I hope it actually runs cooler. The only thing I don't like is how the fuel filter is almost right on top of the intake manifold, so you know that's going to run hot. Alright, let me get it set up in the truck. Alright, so I did not do the tune with a vacuum device. vacuum on it later. Because they say you can pull these out of the box and they're pretty much almost ready to drive. Well, it's true. I can actually feel way more power than I had before. And when I floor it, I can actually feel the secondaries kick in. On the freeway as it does just regular driving around. It's smooth, it's super smooth. When I let off the gas, it doesn't feel like I'm downshifting like the other carb did, or I could be doing 65 or 60 miles an hour and I would floor it and it would bog and then it would come to life. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, before I couldn't even from a complete stop, if I floored it, it wouldn't do anything. So I'm gonna make a complete stop here and let me put my lens on because the sun's gonna make this look weird or mess up my screen. All right, so I'm in drive. I'm gonna floor it and we're gonna see if it bogs. Remember, all I've done was just the idle screw mixtures. That's it. Police. Wow, what a big difference. What a big freaking difference. Alright, let's see how these secondaries kick in. We'll go down to about 25. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. So I'm doing 30. colors, the demons, and this thing just does way better. I don't know if it's because it has anything to do with the annular boosters. I'm not a carburetor guy. But I mean, I just barely give it gas and this thing rocks. It is just so smooth. With that Holly I had on it, it was like forcing it. Alright folks, so that's it for the drive. So I'm really amazed of how it did for just pulling it out of the box. I don't know if the spacer has anything to do with it. I know that I was getting heat soak when the other carburetor was just sitting on top of the intake. I drove it pretty hard and I drove it pretty long, and I absolutely am amazed at just how much power the truck has now, how it feels. It doesn't stumble, it doesn't stutter, and it's crazy. But I know the carburetor that I had before was good. I don't think the secondaries were opening, but I don't know. Like I said, all I did was did the idle mixer screws, and I couldn't be happier. So for all those EDELBROCK AVS II haters, they're not that bad, folks. They're not that bad. And like I said, I haven't even put the vacuum up to this yet to make sure that it's where it should be on the idle screw mixtures. So I'll do that later. Right now I'm more than happy. I did notice that even my gas meter gauge didn't even move that much, so apparently it's not dumping gas like the other carb was, so that's a good thing. This is just another hill that I've gotten over on let's make it roadworthy. I mean, it really is roadworthy. It's just so many little things that need to be updated, and you know, like the shocks. I was saying I want to put new shocks on this, just make it more roadworthy than it already is. And I think I'm done here for the engine. The engine doesn't need anything else. The carburetor was the only problem, and so now it's going to be the shocks, and that's it. The truck's pretty much done. Alright guys, well, thanks for watching.